Now, this is part 2 of the truth behind the Tupac rape case. And we continue. When I told you guys this was going to get larger, and a lot of people didn't understand, like, what is he talking about? It's getting larger. Now, she claimed that she had no help and no government was doing this. This is a situation. And here's something that you finna find out from me right now, is that this all happened by happenstance. Once the case fell into the laps of the government, they were just like, oh wow, they were trying to get him on gun charges, and now they got this case, a possible rape case on their lap. She was coached. That girl was allegedly coached into proceedings on how to go about doing what she did. Now, people can make their own opinions and their own suggestions, but when you receive 300, what's that? No, yeah, like $380,000 from Tupac Shakur that his lawyers had to pay. To settle your case. That's how much money Tupac had to pay. He had to pay his lawyers. So all the money he was doing in the songs, he was when he was recording his record, Me Against the World, he was basically doing these songs and trying to put out that album so he can earn some money to pay his lawyers off and pay this girl off. So this girl made off with Tupac's money from Me Against the World. Tupac didn't get a dime from that. Tupac was basically paying this girl all the money from the album. You know, so you could take it from there. But Ayanna Jackson, she got paid. So for justice, she saw a chance to make some money, and she took it. Makes people very hard to believe your story. When people start coming in and taking your money, and she had great representation so quickly. It's like, high-powered case. The government got involved and prosecuted the case. And they got her one of the best defendants of all time. I mean, for that case and that situation, it was just too quick and too many people professionally handling it for some case of that magnitude at its point in its juncture. It was strange. So if I was Tupac, I would feel like something's up. You know, your case got moved, you must have did something. You know, I couldn't blame him for feeling that paranoid, because that definitely wasn't right. This got picked up because of the fact that Tupac got out, and while he posted bond or whatever, he got charged or whatever, and they got the court dates. The government is going to pick this up. This is a guy who's been targeted by Mr. Bob Dole and C. Dolores Tucker. They had Bill Clinton. They had Tipper Gore, who was Al Gore's wife. They were all, the Republican Party, the government was into this tailspin based on the song Cop Killer with Ice-T. It was war on gangster rap at the time. So what the government was doing was coming up with a plan to shut down gangster rap, or what they considered gangster rap. Tupac was making songs that wasn't gangster rap, and everybody wanted to tear him down. This calls for major disruption in the system, meaning that once his name was on that block and then he shot 2 cops, they just like, oh, he shot 2 cops and he got off. He won the case. But when he shot the 2 cops, it was on the front page. But when he got acquitted, it was on page 37. So all that people remember is Tupac shot 2 cops. But when he got off, he never got off. All of these police officers had it in for Tupac. You shot one of theirs. It's the brothers in blue. They don't care what city or what state it was in. No judge is going to allow you any type of help. And the government played its role in making sure they dealt him out the hardest penalties ever. He was being followed by police. He wasn't even driving. His friend was driving and they pulled him over. Took his friend to jail. Tupac got a gun case right before his trial then. He had a gun charge with his friend driving in Hollywood back in '94 before he was sentenced. Now, I think his buddy, it was his car he was driving, but I think they ended up getting a misdemeanor ticket for it. But it's the constant harassment by the police. And this was consistently happening to Tupac. To let him know, like, you never gonna be safe. We always gonna be watching you. We gonna keep harassing. You never got off from the case. You just got off from them, from the law. But they gonna keep poking and keep poking and keep poking at Tupac to make his life uncomfortable. And that's what they were doing. And with this case, they wanted to send a message. They wanted him to go to jail for years. For years. That was the result. This is a case that should have been at Rikers. They wanted him to go to Clinton Correctional Facility, where mass murderers are. Tupac should be there. Let's get him over there. Like he's a piece of meat. Like he's not even a human being. So for everybody involved, it became a major problem. And once the government got a hold of the case and all these extra charges with sodomizing, they were trying to give him over 10 years. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, all of this, is it really that necessary? Like, he wasn't even, the girl even said he didn't do this. He just held me down. She's saying there's no evidence of any of this. So I'm like, how is she even in the conversation? But it was all good in the end, because people saw that this was getting out of control. It was becoming a circus, because as they were going into trial, more and more lies were coming up. Lies was being told. And Tupac felt that the other side had set him up. So when he was shot, probably 3 weeks before his decision of his trial, that was because of what he was saying in the newspapers about what he felt had happened. Because what he was saying in the newspaper was going to cause a lot of problems for those people in the streets to know that, hey man, you guys are snitches. You guys snitched on me and set me up and this and that. You guys set me up with this girl and it was a setup and y'all set it up. And they like, whoa, we ain't do that. We ain't working with no cops. Cause people be like, man, Pac said y'all set him up. Y'all set up Pac. That's a bad situation. When you in New York and you gotta live there. So he was set up. Cause he was back at Cali, and cause he was let me see, at this time I think he was filming Bullet. He was filming Bullet at the time, so he was back in New York, and that's why he was back there. And then they told him that, hey, could he come by and record a song with Lil Sean, and then he ended up getting shot. So that's what he knew what it was about. He knew everything, but he thought, this ain't no robbery. This is a murder attempt. This is an assassination, and they tried to get me. And I need more security, and y'all can't grant me that, so I'm gonna go stay at a safe house. And a lot of people say he went to Jasmine Guy's house. His wife said that he came over there to see her, so it is what it is. But the man was paranoid for a reason, because the government was on him so heavy. That's what I've been trying to tell people for the longest. Like, Tupac, he's had a lot of cases thrown at him. A lot of people was Tupac there? They was trying to lock up one of his buddies to get them to testify against Tupac. This is in '93 when he was back at the crib, before the rape case even took place. So it was a situation he really didn't feel comfortable with the police and everything, because you got to remember he had an incident in Moran City too that led to a lot of this too with the government. And the fact that his parents are ex-Panthers, and it was a message they wanted to send to gangster rappers. And Ice-T, everybody else started getting dropped off later. There's a lot of problems and a lot of heat brought down on rappers by the federal government. That's why when Pac died, Big died, they all being watched by the federal government. Why there's no proof, or why is anybody shot or anything else, they don't have any information. Not the federal government. Because they watching all of them. They want to see who got a gun, who gets in the car. They can find a reason to jump on them, give them federal time, and put them in general population, and strip them down and destroy their careers, lock them up for 10, give them 5, 6, 7 years. And that's what you're seeing now. It's the same thing, ain't it? What used to be a misdemeanor in 1995 got changed into a felony in 1996. I know because I got charged for it in 1996. It used to be a misdemeanor, get your ticket, you go home. And now it's a Class A felony for having a pistol in the car. They found 2 other felonies to try to give me and railroad me. All because they were rookie cops and they wanted a weekend off. They didn't care about anybody's life. All they wanted was, let's try to railroad this poor guy right here. And that's back then. Pac was getting arrested for that, and a lot of them was getting arrested for having pistols on them. Misdemeanor fine, here you go, little weed on them, another misdemeanor for that. All these little misdemeanors, they pay them off. Tupac had an accident at concert. Oh, there we go, gotta go to court, community service. He had so many problems and run-ins with authority and police, and they were just making his life a living hell. And the man had a reason to be paranoid. I hope you guys recognize that now. So, it's your boy Carcino. I'm out. Follow the 2 playlists. It's going to be Tupac week, so y'all should see a lot of them in succession. I'm out.